Nancy Drew. This is my center of operations, my desk. Go ahead and poke around.
Excuse me, giant human.
When Kyler Mallory called me from her home in London and asked me to be her maid of honor, I was a little reluctant. After all, I hadn't seen her since she stayed with us as an exchange student a couple of years ago. But when she told me the wedding is going to take place at an old family castle in Ireland, how could I say no? The wedding will be very small, but Kyler still needs help with all the final preparations, which means she'd like me to arrive several days early. So I'm going to fly to Dublin, rent a car, and meet Kyler at Castle Malloy. She warned me that the place is somewhat in need of repairs, whatever that means. And unfortunately, by the time I get there, it'll be night. But I've never been to Ireland before, and I've never even seen a real honest-to-goodness castle, let alone stayed in one. So the fact that it may be dark and run down just makes it more of an adventure. And you know me, whenever the question is who wants to go on an adventure, my answer is always, I do.
In preparation for our landing, please make sure your seatbelt is securely fastened. Thank you.
So your plane was on time, your luggage arrived, your rental car was waiting? Everything went without a hitch?
Yep, and according to Kyler's directions, I'm within 2 kilometers of Castle Malloy. Now stop worrying about me and get over to the Dunhills. What time is it there?
Around 2. The party just started. It's gonna go all day, so I've got plenty of time. Are you driving?
Yes, Ned, I'm talking on my cell phone while I'm driving, but it's okay. There's absolutely no traffic. And I think I see the gates. I gotta go. Say hi to the Dunhills for me and have fun.
Without you? Yeah, right. Take care, Nancy.
Oh, no! What was that? Oh, hello. I'm Nancy Drew. I'm here for the wedding.
The wedding's been called off, so go on back to where you come from.
No, wait, please. My car's in the ditch by the gate. I can't go anywhere.
Walk down the road to the inn then. Give me your keys and I'll see to your car in the morning.
I left the keys in the car. Can I at least talk to Kyler?
She's sleeping.
No, wait. I came all the way from the States.
You cannot stay here. Go to the inn, I said. Now off with you.
Please, can I come in just for a minute? Hello? Are you there? Hello? Uh-oh.
Deaf are you now? I told you you cannot be staying here.
No, what are you doing? That's Nancy Drew, my maid of honor. Let her in.
Matt's disappeared? How can somebody you came all the way out here with to marry just disappear?
He hasn't disappeared for good. You have to understand, Matt's a bit of a prankster, and the wedding is still days away.
He disappeared as a prank?
He adores getting people in a tizzy. I do think he's pushing the envelope this time, but he'll show up. Mind you, it may not be till I've started down the aisle, but he'll show, saying he just wanted to make this a wedding no one shall ever forget.
Why did that man at the door tell me the wedding was off?
That was the caretaker, Donald Delaney. Not Donald, mind you. There's no D at the end, so it's pronounced Donal. That's the way you're supposed to spell it, which is to say that's the way the Irish spell it.
Proud of his heritage, huh?
Indeed. Which would be tolerable if his love for the Irish wasn't accompanied by an abiding distaste for the British. Now, he rather likes me, but that's only because he considers me to be Irish, since I'm directly related to the man who used to own this place. When it comes to my British fiancé, Donal detests him, which is why he was so quick to tell you the wedding's off. He wants it to be off. He came right out and said, if I am to be married in Castle Malloy, it simply must be to an Irishman. Said my marrying a Brit would upset the fairy people, or whatever he calls them.
You sure the wedding shouldn't at least be postponed?
I'm telling you, he'll show. You see, sometimes I hear him. You know, his voice. It's very faint and muffled, but it sounds like he's calling to me, saying things I can't quite make out. Teasing me, the lout. So I know he's somewhere close by. He'll be here for the wedding. I'd stake my life on it. Of course, I remember well your penchant for solving mysteries. So if you want to give this one a go, by all means do. You could start in the nursery. It's down the hall. That's where Matt had set up his cot and was spending most of his time. Find him, Nancy. Having my maid of honor ruin this silly vanishing trick of his would teach him a lesson he sorely needs.
Someone ran out in front of my car on my way here and caused me to drive into a ditch.
Are you all right?
Me, I'm fine. My car and my cell phone, not so good. And I'm pretty sure whomever I saw dropped this. Looks like some kind of homemade doll.
The clothes. It looks like Matt. And that's his ring. What did the person who dropped this look like?
I didn't really get a good look. It was dark and I was distracted and it moved so fast. Frankly, I'm not even sure if what I saw was a person.
Donal, the caretaker. When we realized Matt was gone, straight away Donal claimed Matt had been kidnapped by fairies. Which is, of course, utterly ridiculous. It was probably Matt himself you saw, tricked out in some costume and leaving that doll behind just to confound us. Well, I do hope he's enjoying himself, because as soon as we're married, that will be that. No more practical jokes. Ever.
I'm gonna go play detective now.
The 5 months I spent living with you, your dad, and Hannah, and Togo, of course. That was a very happy time for me, Nancy. I can't tell you how thrilled I am you're here.
I get to see you again and I get to see Ireland? I'm the one who's thrilled, believe me. Let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. I'm your maid of honor, remember?
I haven't forgotten.
Whoa, that would have been quite a fall. This is useless. It's not lit. I probably shouldn't put a large disc on top of a... This'll come in handy.
Nancy, splendid timing. I just thought of something you can do for me. There's an old-fashioned printing press downstairs. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't taken a good look around down there yet.
Just go down the stairs and look for the monstrosity with the big wheel and the levers. You can't miss it. It came with the castle. My great-uncle, Grandpapa's brother, was some sort of mad inventor. Had all sorts of gizmos and gadgets and machinery lying around. Anyway, when I saw the printer, I told Matt why not save some money and print the programs for the wedding right here. Problem is, Matt failed to get them done before he turned into the merry prankster. And since I have the mechanical aptitude of a bacterium, would you mind finishing the job for me? You'd only have to print 3 more sheets, and the plate, the ink, the paper, everything you need is right there.
No problem.
Thank you, Nancy. You're the best. Did you print the rest of the programs?
Not yet, but I will.
Anything else to report?
I found these glasses in the fireplace in the nursery.
Those are Matt's. You found them in the fireplace?
Did you look there when you were searching for Matt?
Of course not. Why would we look in the fireplace? Matt never, ever took his glasses off. Mostly because without them, he can't see 2 feet in front of him.
Did he have an extra pair?
It's possible. Any normal person with eyesight as bad as his would have had 10 extra pairs. But how did those get broken? Oh, Nancy, maybe he truly is in trouble.
Let me do some more looking around before we jump to any conclusions. The glasses could still just be part of an elaborate practical joke.
You're absolutely right. Please find him, Nancy. I do so want to strangle him.
If Matt was staying in the nursery, where's his luggage?
Right there by his cot.
It's not there now.
But it was there, just last night. I remember seeing it when I peeked in to see if he'd finally decided to reappear. At least, I think I saw it last night. If it's not there now, perhaps Denol moved it, took it to storage or something. Because I know I saw it after Matt went missing. So it's around here somewhere, just like he's around here somewhere. I'm sure of it.
I'd better get to work.
Keep me posted.
That's just a little too far to jump. I'd better finish the rest of these before I go anywhere. I should use black ink to print the programs. Best man, Alan Payne.
You must be Nancy Drew. I'm Kit Foley, Matt's best friend. Ignore the eye if you can. Walked into a door the other day. Looks worse than it feels. I'm a bit surprised you're still here, given the circumstances.
I was going to say the same about you.
I'm not about to leave Kyler here by herself. Until she comes to her senses, I'm staying put.
What do you mean, comes to her senses?
Matt isn't playing a practical joke, and he hasn't been kidnapped by fairies. He got cold feet and left. It's as simple as that.
Have you told Kyler?
No, I haven't got the heart. Or the guts. Take your pick. I mean, he loves Kyler, but she can be a handful. And he's no pushover either. Their relationship is so tempestuous, it scares him. She thinks once he makes a real commitment, everything will be fine. But he's not so sure. So he bailed.
Without saying anything to her?
I'm sure he'll contact her in another day or two. In the meantime, she's in a raging state of denial, and I, for one, don't see any harm in allowing her to stay that way. I seriously doubt he walked out on her for good. It's just that for Matt, marriage is way too much, way too soon.
If you and Matt are best friends, how come he didn't make you his best man?
Matt felt like it would be a good move for him politically if he asked this guy he knows from work, Alan Payne, to be his best man, and I said fine, don't worry about it, no big deal.
When or how did you realize that Matt had disappeared?
Kyler and I went for a walk, came back, and the next thing I knew, Kyler was saying Matt was nowhere to be found.
Where did you last see him?
In the nursery. He always seemed to be in the nursery fiddling with things. Whenever I'd tease him about it, he'd always give me this impish little grin like he was up to something. When I checked the nursery and saw that Matt's suitcase and backpack were gone, it finally dawned on me that he had left and he wasn't coming back. Of course, by that time, Kyler had convinced herself that he was simply playing one of his practical jokes, and I couldn't bring myself to burst her bubble, so I didn't.
It looks like you're drawing something. Are you an artist?
Me? Not hardly. I'm with a real estate development company. These are just preliminary sketches for a couple of projects we're working on. In other words, I'm doing homework.
Residential real estate or commercial?
Mostly residential. And let me tell you, we'd have a field day with attractive land like the one this castle sits on. Ocean view, easy commute to Donegal, bedrock foundation, readily accessible groundwater. That bog's a bit problematic, but a little sand, a little gravel, a little landscaping, voila! A cluster of 6, maybe 8 luxury homes amid a park-like setting that would sell like lightning.
Time for me to scoot.
Keep it real.
I can't just go snooping around, not with Kit right there. Where are those lights in the tower coming from? Wonder what that crow's doing in there. Ah! What is that?
So, you're not so keen on staying at the castle after all, then?
I'm staying there. I just wanted to talk to you.
Come to me for a bit of aid and advice, did you? Well, I've got none to give. Not till I got the day's troubles behind me and a crow's nest in front of me.
I don't blame you a bit. I also have no idea what you're talking about.
The mix maid suddenly took ill, leaving poor Seamus on his own, running back and forth, trying to mix and serve at the same time. I ordered soon as I walked in, yet here I sit, dying of thirst. I'll do no talking till I get me crow's nest, and there's the sorry truth of the matter. But now, were some spry and spunky lass to lend poor Seamus a hand by taking over the mixing for a while, that would surely speed the plough.
Sounds good to me. I'll see to it you get your crows whatever, ASAP.
Gonna play mix maid for a while, are ya? Well, here's what you're to do. I'll take the orders and put the tickets up here. Each ticket will have no more than 2 drinks on it. And to save time, I draw little pictures instead of writing out their names. The mixing book will tell you which little picture stands for what drink. It'll also tell you what's in each drink and how to make each drink. Now, to pour something, put the silver mixing glass under either the juice tap or the beer tap. Then, press whatever button the mixing book tells you to press. The book will also tell you how many times to press it. If the drink needs blending, you'll see a picture of a blender at the top of the column in the book. You're to put the solid ingredients into the blender first, then pour whatever's in the mixing glass into the blender. Then, press the red button. And when the blending's done, just reach under the counter and find the serving glass that's pictured in the book. Put the serving glass on the grey mat and pour everything from the blender into the serving glass. If the drink doesn't need blending, just find the right serving glass, put it on the grey mat, and pour everything you've poured into the mixing glass into the serving glass. Then, add anything else the book tells you to add, put the serving glass on the tray to the right of the ticket it goes to, and start fixing the next drink. Soon as you've made all the drinks on a ticket, ring the bell and I'll serve 'em up. Just remember, if the orders start coming thick and fast and the tickets start piling up, you're to make the drinks on the ticket closest to the bell first. Now, you'll be making no mistakes, I'm sure. But if you do, just toss the glass into the rubbish bin down there to the right and start over. Mind you, lass, you must do the mixing fast and proper. The quicker you mix, the more tips you'll be keeping. To work with you now. that odor wasn't right. All done and dusted, are ya? Thank you, miss. Take what's in the tip jar, and the next time you help out, you can keep the tips then as well.
You make a mean crow's nest, girl. Well done. Now, I'm to tell you what happened to the Sassenach, am I?
I'm sorry, happened to the what?
The Sassenach. The Englishman. The one Kyler was supposed to be marrying. Well, what happened to him is this. The She took him. The good people whisked him straight off to their world, they did.
By the good people, you mean fairies?
You'll not be hearing me call him that. All of us have a name we prefer, and with them, the good people it is. So that's what I call him, and you'd be wise to do the same.
Just what are these good people going to do with him?
Whatever they please. He's in their world now, and he'll not be coming back. That's as much of the truth as we'll ever know. 'Tis not the first time the good people have seen fit to meddle in the affairs of Castle Malloy. Caused the explosion they did.
Explosion?
Aye, the one that half destroyed the place. The man who lived there in 1944, Brendan Malloy was his name. He was a scientist, charged with making rocket fuel, people say. Only one summer night, something went terrible wrong. There was a flash, like 1,000 lightning bolts. Then a huge boom sent everything south of the library flying towards the sky. Brendan, his wife, Caitlin, used to own this place, she did. Aye, and their little girl, Fiona. All three were lost to the world forever when the place blew. But the blame lay not with Malloy. It was the good people. They'd taken a shine to Fiona, is why. And they knew that little girls, no matter how much they're adored by wee folk or mortals, sooner or later, all little girls grow up and grow old. The good people couldn't bear to see this happen to their beloved Fiona, so they made full sure it never did.
Sounds to me like the good people are actually just the opposite.
They have their ways, and we have ours, is all. That's just the way of things. Got plans for you, they do.
The fairies? The good people? What makes you say that?
I meant to pocket your car keys for safekeeping on my way over here, but I couldn't find 'em.
You mean my keys weren't in the car?
Aye, that's exactly my meaning. Taken they were. The good people want you to be staying.
The name of this place. Just what exactly is a banshee?
A woman, one of the good people, as alive as you and me, with wild hair almost as long as the tattered grey robe billowing up around her whenever she appears. Sometimes she takes on the form of a hooded crow, but it's the sound she makes, her terrible wailing, that strikes fear in the human heart. Because when a mortal hears the wail of a banshee, it means someone is about to die.
Sometimes I hear this strange kind of wailing sound when I'm in the castle. Have you ever heard it?
These ears don't work so well now. Even the pattern of rain is beginning to slip by 'em. But the situation being what it is, by my reckon, a banshee you heard.
You mean someone in the castle is going to die?
Aye.
Someone as in Matt?
How they know what they know, and why they do what they do, are mysteries far beyond mortal solution. But be assured, lass, someone at Castle Malloy is doomed.
I saw someone with long hair and a gray robe outside the castle tonight.
Did you know?
It ran across the road in front of me. That's why my car's in the ditch.
Not till I was 54 did I see a banshee. To see one at your age, on your very first night in Ireland. A special lass you are indeed.
There's no other explanation for what I saw?
There might be 24 explanations for what you saw, but none, save one, is the truth.
I'd better get going.
Be careful out there, lass.
Still have to do that. Still have to do that. Did that. Still have to do that. Still have to do that. Still have to do that. I haven't done that.
What's going on?
How come you sound so American?
Because I am American. My father's VP of International Sales for Krollmeister Incorporated. The company transferred him to London 15 years ago. I've pretty much lived there ever since. I just can't seem to pick up the accent.
Have you ever been up in the tower?
You saw the stairs, or what's left of them. There's no way to get up there.
I could have sworn I saw lights coming from it.
Perhaps it was the good people come a-calling on their good friend and all. Or maybe it was just reflected moonlight or something. So if you're thinking Matt's up there, forget it. Ain't no way.
Time for me to scoot.
Drop by anytime.
Did you finish the programs?
Yep. I noticed that the best man is someone named Alan Payne. When will he be showing up?
Actually, he arrived the same day Matt and I did. But when Matt vanished, Alan was certain that Matt was playing a joke and refused to be the butt of it. So he went back to London, saying he'll reappear only when Matt does and not a moment before. You know, perhaps you should give Alan a call. 0044-020-7946-0481. He may have seen something while he was here that could help you find Matt. You'll have to use the phone down the road at the inn, however. My cell phone gets absolutely no reception here.
Where does Mr. Delaney live?
All I know is he comes at dawn and leaves at sunset. I can't fathom what he does all day, but he always seems to be puttering away at something. When he's not working, he spends most of his time down the road at the Screaming Banshee Inn.
Who pays him?
My grandfather's estate. Apparently, Grandpapa considered Dunall to be as much a part of Castle Malloy as those mouldy old tapestries you see everywhere. I should let him go. All he ever talks about are banshees and fairies and leprechauns. And he can be quite obstinate, as you saw at the door. But if Grandpapa saw fit to put up with him all those years, I suppose I can too.
What are you doing in here, if you don't mind my asking?
Reading. About myself, in a way. You see, until my grandpapa died and left me this place, not only did I have no idea that this castle existed, but I had no idea my real name was not Mallory, but Malloy. Apparently, Grandpapa changed his name 50 years ago, so no one would find out he was Irish.
Why didn't he want people to find out he was Irish?
I think it had something to do with his brother, Brendan, the man who owned this place and was living here when it exploded during World War II. He was rumored to have been a double agent, supposedly doing top-secret research for the Allies, but in truth passing his findings onto the Axis. Not exactly a brother you want people to know about.
If the rumors were true.
Anyway, ever since I found out I'm a Malloy, I can't stop reading about Ireland. So many different people have populated this country at one time or another. The Celts, the Druids, the Gaels. It's all quite fascinating.
Have you come across anything in here that indicates whose side your great-uncle was really on?
No, and if he was half as smart as he was reputed to be, I highly doubt I ever shall. He was quite the inventor, I do know that. Everything that remains in this place seems as if it's been tinkered with. Even his daughter's dollhouse, of all things.
Did you know when you decided to hold your wedding here that half the place is pretty much rubble?
Oh, yes. Mind you, I didn't even know that Castle Malloy existed until Grandpapa died and I was notified that I'd inherited it. At which point the executor of his estate sent me pictures and assured me that despite its appearance, it was in fact habitable.
I'd better get to work.
As soon as you find out anything, let me know.
I would like a fortune. It looks like a piece is missing. This is where my phone card comes in handy.
Hello?
Hi, Ned, it's me.
Hey, Nancy. How come you're not calling from your cell phone?
It's kind of a long story. So, are you at the pool party?
Yeah. In fact, Kathy and Carrie say hi. So do their parents, and everyone else who's here. Which is pretty much all of River Heights.
You sound funny.
I just miss you, that's all. Look, enough about me. I want to hear about Ireland. How's it going?
Well, it would be going a whole lot better if the guy Kyler came here to marry wasn't missing.
The groom is missing?
She thinks he's just playing a practical joke.
Wait a minute. You and Kyler are there by yourselves?
No, Matt's best friend is here too. So's the caretaker, Mr. Delaney.
This guy Matt thinks disappearing less than a week before his wedding is funny? I'm no expert on marriage or anything, but I don't think that's a good sign.
Something that kind of looked like a woman and kind of didn't ran across the road right in front of me just as I got to the castle.
What do you mean it kinda looked like a woman?
It had all this long, wild hair, and it was wearing something flowing, like a dress or a robe. But its face, it just didn't look human. It really freaked me out. According to Mr. Delaney, the castle's extremely Irish caretaker, what I saw was probably a banshee.
A banshee? As in the creature that supposedly wails before someone dies?
Right. Well, technically it's a fairy, not a creature.
Here we go again. You're in Ireland not 2 hours, and what happens?
A mystery falls into my lap, a harmless mystery. Don't worry, Ned.
You're
I'm
fine. Right.
I'd really like to get into the tower of Castle Malloy.
What's stopping you?
The lack of stairs, for one thing.
There are no stairs?
They were destroyed along with half the castle in a mysterious explosion during World War II. Apparently, the guy who lived here then, Brendan Malloy, was some kind of mad scientist.
Why do you want to get up in the tower so bad?
I saw some strange lights coming from inside it. Kit says Matt is no rock climber, but still, I can't help but think it might have been Matt.
Why would he be up in a tower?
Maybe that's where he's hiding out.
You just said there's no way to get in.
I know, but maybe...
He learned how to fly.
You're not helping, Ned.
Sorry, Nancy.
I better get going.
Sure wish you were here. Bye, Nance.
Bye, Ned.
Hello?
Yes, hi. My name is Nancy Drew. I'm calling from Castle Malloy. I'm Kyler Mallory's maid of honor.
Yes, I remember that name. Has Matthew finally put an end to that ridiculous prank of his?
No, I'm afraid he's still at it. But if you have a second, could I ask you some questions?
It should be a minute or two before my ride gets here. What's on your mind?
Do you have any idea where Matt may be hiding?
None. And if what you're really asking is, am I in on his little joke? The answer to that is absolutely, unequivocally, no. I detest practical jokes.
Did you help look for Matt after he disappeared?
I did not. As soon as Kyler said it would be just like Matt to disappear as a prank, I refused to join in any search for him. And when he didn't show up the next morning, I left. I did not travel all the way to Ireland to be made a fool of. Besides, I'd had quite enough of the three of them and rather liked having an excuse to leave.
You didn't get along with them?
I was fine. They're the ones who couldn't seem to get along. For instance, the evening before Matt disappeared, he and Kit had a terrible row. I couldn't make out exactly what was being said, but they both sounded very angry. Furious, I dare say. In fact, the next time I saw Kit, he was sporting a black eye. And the next morning, Matt and Kyla had a go at each other. Nothing physical, mind you, and once again, I couldn't make out what was said, but I promise you, they were quite put out with each other. I was more than happy to bid the lot of them farewell, though I imagine I'll be returning to the castle before too long. Matt is bound to find his prank as tedious as everyone else does eventually. I must be off. Nancy, it was a pleasure venting to you. Hopefully before too long we shall meet in person. Cheers.
Ah, not a moment too soon. Another round completed. You made a mistake, girl. You did something wrong, lass. That order wasn't right. You do fine work, miss. You do fine work, miss. Another round completed.
You have a lead?
When you said you sometimes hear Matt, where are you when that happens? In here?
In here, in the nursery, sometimes outside. His voice is always very muffled and very, very faint, so I can never tell where it's coming from or what he's saying. But it's Matt, I'm sure of it.
And you've looked all over for him?
When it became apparent he was missing, we searched everywhere for hours. We were afraid he'd gone wading and drowned or something, or wandered into the bog, or gotten lost out on the moor. But we found no footprints, no clothes lying around, nothing. So when I heard his voice, it dawned on me he was playing one of his outlandish pranks. I was furious with him, but truth be told, it was also a bit of a relief.
When I called Alan Payne, he said that on the day Matt disappeared, you and Matt had a pretty big argument.
I dare say Matt and I have argued about one thing or another every day since we met. That's just how we are together.
Can you remember what you were arguing about?
I haven't the foggiest idea. Apparently, you should ask Mr. Big Ears Payne.
I'm gonna go play detective now.
Keep me posted.
How's it going?
Alan Payne told me he overheard you and Matt arguing the day before Matt disappeared, and pretty much right before you walked into that door.
What were you doing talking to Alan Payne?
I thought he might know something that could help us find Matt.
I told you, Matt bailed. He doesn't want to be found. Look, like I said, Alan Payne doesn't really know Matt or me that well, okay? The fact is, he misunderstood what he heard. Matt and I have been friends for more than 12 years. We were just fooling around.
Fooling around? You ended up with a black eye.
I told you that was an accident. I'm clumsy.
What were you two talking about?
I forget. That's how inconsequential it was. Hey, I just remembered. Kyler wants me to do the seating chart for the wedding dinner. Like I said, I can't bring myself to tell her there's not going to be a wedding. Anyway, I need to get to work on it, so you're gonna have to excuse me. Of course, you could always give it a shot. You just have to figure out where each guest should sit by taking into account their needs and preferences. What do you say?
Sure, I can do that.
Excellent. Just fill it out and bring it back to me when you think you've got everyone sitting in the right place. Because unless and until it gets done, afraid I'm going to be pretty much incommunicado. How's the seating chart coming?
Could you take a look at it?
You bet. This looks great. Wow, you did it. I'm impressed.
So now we can talk.
Yeah, now we can talk. Oh, hey, actually, you might want to take a look at this first. I found it on the floor in Matt's room when I was looking for him.
What is it?
Frankly, it didn't make a lot of sense to me, but maybe it will to you. Take it. If anybody can figure out what Matt was doing with it, you can, I'm sure. Good luck.
Did that. I haven't done that. Check. All done. Check. Can't check that off yet.
What's going on?
If you weren't going to be the best man, how come you came out here so early?
I volunteered to help get everything set up, and Matt and Kyler took me up on it. I'm pretty good friends with Kyler, too. In fact, I'm the one who introduced her to Matt.
How long ago was that?
A little less than a year ago. They both claimed it was love at first sight, and it seemed like it really was, right up until a couple of days ago. You sure do ask a lot of questions. Wait a minute. Nancy Drew. Kyler told me about you. You're the girl who likes to play detective.
Well, it's just, kind of a hobby. Although Kyler did say it'd be nice if I could find Matt.
Well, you're not gonna have any luck doing that. Old Matt is long gone.
Time for me to scoot.
Keep it real.
You're right. There has to be a logical explanation for what we just saw. So I'm going to calm down, relax, and trust that you will discover what that thing was. You are going to figure it out, aren't you, Nancy?
I promise.
Did you hear something just now? Like someone screaming? Or was it just the wind?
Actually, it was Kyler. She and I saw someone with long white hair reaching in through the window of the nursery. Kyler screamed, and whoever or whatever it was disappeared.
How could someone reach in through the window? The nursery's on the second floor.
Good question.
If Matt were still around, I'd say it was him. But since he's not around, maybe Denal has sprouted wings.
From the looks of that picture I found over there, it looks like you and Kyler used to be a lot more than friends.
Yeah, we dated for a while, until it finally became obvious that we were better as a couple of friends than as a couple. No biggie.
That discussion you had with Matt, come on, really, what was it about?
It was about Kyler. I was asking Matt whether he had truly thought through what being married to her was going to be like. The more questions I asked, the more nerves I struck, and the more uncomfortable and angry he became, until finally...
He gave you that shiner.
He stomped upstairs to the nursery. Next day, he disappeared. Obviously, the things I said got to him. So if I seem a little guilty to you, it's because I am guilty. It's my fault that Matt walked out on Kyler. Simple as that.
Good talking to you.
Keep it real.
Looks like I need a key.